Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're going to talk about drone development, which is a recent hot topic. So let's dive deep into it. Now, first we have to understand this year we are talking about 2026, things have changed. Basically, drone went from just an extra pair of eyes in the sky to war front itself, meaning how the heck war is being fought at this moment? Drones. So things have changed. And again, even in a small domain where we are like, okay, what a drone is like, it's a camera that you flies to 3D drone displays. And if you have seen that, that's like magnificent. My town actually had two of those drone displays. It was something. Like once you can see something that's physically being created and you can see them like few kilometers away, that's like, at that point, you really start to understand the majesty of it. And how the heck that happened? Well, development of electric vehicle and battery technology, both of them created possibilities that was flat out impossible. We have people seriously thinking about flying drone taxis. And again, it's not that it's a concept. It's like, yeah, we can do it. Like you can just make it, do it today, 2026. And there are two primary drivers of it. First, because of this small PP guy, which we call basically special military operation that's supposed to be 3 day. Now, we all know the hardest part about special military operation is the first 5 years. How the heck that happened? Drones. Nothing else, just drones. So fundamentally, every nation that has any amount of brain cell, they are pouring money into drones like there is no tomorrow. You have any concept, you have any viability of becoming something useful, shut up, take money. And it is worldwide. Be it Germany, be it France, be it India, be it Pakistan, be it China, shut up, take money. So defense funding is like, take it and go. Venture capitalists. Now, be mindful, war front is like what people are seeing, but there are still so many scopes that has been unlocked because of that total development. Venture capitalists pouring money into it. Now, you might be like, aren't they pouring money into AI? More than enough people have realized that AI is like, it's not happening. As in like, if you borrow $300 billion, you can't generate anything that give you $300 billion. So like profitability is zero. Drones have profitability. So venture capital is like they are pouring money into it. So serious funding is going into it. And this whole sector from 2020 to 2026, last 6 years, have seen what we call growth and quantum leap, meaning things that is possible today. Like you can just like pick up a phone and order and it's like, Amazon 24-hour delivery. It was unimaginable at 2020. So things have actually did quantum leap. Now, war is the most common part that we are hearing about. Like it started with, again, that American skinny drone, which was just eye in the sky. And then somebody's like, hey, it's a plane. Why not put pew pew into it? So they put missiles into it. And it does work. However, somebody figured out, Iran specifically, is that drone can be made cheaper, meaning these fiberglass puppies with basically German lawnmower engines. That's the design. That's why everybody keeps talking about lawnmower. It just does not sound like lawnmower. It is used in lawnmower, the actual engine. Everything in this puppy is built from commercial component, not army grade component, commercial component. So the idea is this puppy is cheap. Now, what does that mean? That simply means you can have a drone, right? That can have 4 missiles. Each of that missile will cost more than this and multiple times more. It's not just like, okay, you can have 1 missile or 2 of this. No, you can have 1 missile or 10 of this. That's a simple thing. For example, the Shahid 136 that started this whole race, it was a GPS guided lawnmower, nothing more than that. Now, it was targeted price was $40,000. That is chump change for US Air Force. That is horrifying. Why? Here's the deal. If you send one of this, everybody will laugh at you. Even Pakistan will be like, bitch place. Now, if you launch 100 of this, yo, you launch 1,000 of this, yeah. And again, economics support that effort, meaning, oh, you have air defense system. Wouldn't it be tragic if all the interceptor missiles were consumed instantaneously? So that's the what you call mindset change. The only country that can tank this and without going kaboom is Ukraine at this point in time. Ukraine went from like every few days we were hearing about these in news to like, yeah, we got this. How? Well, they went to old school World War II technology, basically tanks with Gepard anti-aircraft pew-pew on top of it. And they're like, that takes care of very powerful things. And they have World War II propeller aircrafts that was used for training. They're like, okay, hey, you can open the cockpit in that. So a pilot flies it, second person who's supposed to be teacher, they open the cockpit, take pew-pew, So Ukraine has like surprisingly strong shield, meaning of course you still can send 1000 or 5000 and it will penetrate, but it will be like 5000 to 5. Like they're good at stopping it, and that's why you do not hear too much about this. Now, cheap enough where you can win via numbers. That's the drastic change, so to say. And that's one domain. That's like, super duper hyper cheap pew pew missile. And you're like, okay, but it can't target anything rapidly or accurately. That is true. However, this was not designed for actual combat. This was designed for deleting your opponent. As in, the airport is not going to run away or go away. You can know the runway location, map the GPS coordinate, put that into this, send out 10,000 of this, that runway will not exist. That was the point. Oh, there is a power station, substation. That substation will not exist anymore. Basically, for things that cannot move, this is like, I'm going to take care of it for cheap. So that's the reason why this is horrifying, and it is capable of winning, changing the battlefield. Then you have FPV drone. This was also tried, by the way. Russia-Ukraine war is the second war where they used it, but there was a minor conflict that had this. But Russia-Ukraine war took this to like whole different level. And here, drones are coming in all sizes, because again, how much boom powder that you want to carry. If you want to boom a person, you don't need that. But if you want to tank, again, you might be like, oh, tank, you can boom it. It's like, yeah, you can't just drop a normal grenade unless the hatch is open. You can't do that. Like, tanks are designed to tank things. They do take a bit of oomph to penetrate through. So drones come in different sizes. So you have smaller drones which are for infantry kaboom, then you have a bit bigger one, truck kaboom, then you have really big ones that are for tank kaboom. So the prices are, again, Ukraine will never tell you what is the exact prices, but guesstimate is like it can go as low as $500 in bulk, or some designs are touching $300 per piece. That is scary. That's the price of a magazine. And they're mass producing like millions of this. Even the maximum, but again, that's why you do not hear about Russian tanks anymore. It's like, yeah, that has been deleted. So this allows your country, this allows your opponent to, you can delete all the static elements of an opponent country, meaning, oh, they have a dam. Wouldn't that be great if that dam disappeared? This is your guy. Feel like, hey, they have substation. Wouldn't that be great if that disappeared? This will take care of all of that. FPV will drone make sure that, oh, you are sending infantry. Wouldn't it be shame if 30,000 of them will disappear per month for years? That's the benefit of this sort of thing, mass production and all that. Now, once we started to use that, people were like, hey, what if we use jamming? Once we started jamming, this puppy came in. Now, this is scary, given the fact that if you know our old American technology, they had a tow missile. The missile had wires for guidance. Basically, the idea was somebody will look into it, you will fire tow missile and you will guide it. Like, I'm not joking. Like, it was like you actually had to joystick it. So, do. And they had a limitation. They could not make it a multi-kilometer. They could not even touch 10 kilometers. Like, why? Because it was pulling the wire from the spool. So there was a fundamental limit. Somebody figured out fiber optic is much lighter compared to copper. And optical is also far more faster, robust and all that. So what if you have put the spool in the drone? That's why the spool is not on the ground. Because if you put the spool on the ground, it has to pull through whole of the cable. It is impossible. But if you put it on there, it has only spool what is moving. Basically, all the previous axle, let's say it moved 1 kilometer, that 1 kilometer length of wire is on ground. The drone does not have to move it anymore. It lays that 1 kilometer, now the next kilometer, now the next kilometer. That's why this puppy can touch. Again, this is unconfirmed rumor. It's 50 kilometer, like straight line, of course. But that's horrifying. You cannot jam this and this puppy can go to 50 kilometers. And by the way, there are another reason why people are using this is that a line of sight on drone radio spectrum is basically sharp enough where it's like 50 kilometers is far enough where it's like, bro, the curvature of Earth is blocking your signal. And if you have forest and all that, that's limiting. So 30, 40, you can buy the spool, by the way. 30, 40 kilometer spool is like, bro, take it. 50 is the highest I've seen. Now, I'm like, somebody might be trying like having a mothership that has the spool from that to wherever you have to go. That would be scary. Because again, this will go almost like 10-20 kilometers inland, and this repeater drone would be very far back. So, because again, signal jamming has inverse square law. So if you're making a jammer, unless you know the exact position, exact location, you are screaming in everything in all directions. Further away you are, the weaker it will get. It's law of physics. So that's why these things are very dangerous. And whole Ukrainian forests are now covered with optical fibers. And that's how it started, by the way. So currently we are going in what we call onboard AI. That's why these are $300. They are not like even cheaper than that. The thing is they are using smartphone SoCs, basically what you have in this, and they are stripping down the OS and making their own custom system. And you must have noticed that modern footage that is coming from Ukraine, they cut off way too early. And you are seeing the successive boom event from second drone. The reason is they realize that jammers, again, you do not want to turn on your jammer unless you are in threat, simply because that will scream, hey, I am here. So everybody is like, okay, keep the jammer low. The moment you notice that drone is coming, turn the jammer on. So the idea is drone will go there as far as possible, 100 or 200 meters away. The person will mark it via AI, is like target this, and then the moment AI receives the command, turns off the radio, saves all the electrical energy, dumps it into propellers, wing. And that's why you do not see that. Old times you were like almost touching the tanks, you will get the boom event. Nowadays it's just like, far signal cuts out, because again the terminal guidance, it's by AI. And that's why the final footage will be coming from a second system. And those are also going into the Shahi style systems, meaning it can detect where the heck a jammer is. So idea is, if you send 500 of them, it detects the jamming signal, it will target the jamming signal, basically almost like a harm missile. Basically, oh, you are screaming. And if you send 1,000 of them, 10, 20 of them will boom it. So we started with dumb flying movers. Now we have a horrifying system that unless your country is really good with your defense grid, yeah, you did. All that happened. Past tense. Now we come to the civilian sector, VTOL. This has become the current hot topic. And why the heck that's possible now without fuel? Well, here's the fuel had kilowatt hour, meaning if you had a jet engine or a piston engine, whatever have you, it had massive kilowatt hour, meaning how much unit of energy you have on a tank. It was bonkers. But goes to battery ironically has a different thing, meaning it will have bonkers amount of kilowatt, almost like a capacitor nowadays. It's like GG amount of power. It does not have the range. So somebody figured out VTOL can actually utilize that. For example, taking off like this burns bonkers amount of fuel. A plane cannot afford to do that. Helicopters barely afford to do that. So it's like, what if you do that with battery? But again, if you do that, you will not have the range. It's like, hey, we have electric motor. What if you pivot it? So VTOL, basically you take off like a drone and then you become what we call basically a craft, basically a flying craft. And why go through that trouble? Simply because a wing is exponentially more energy efficient. Because again, you do have kilowatt, you do not have kilowatt hour. So you have to make sure takeoff and landing is the only thing that consumes energy. If flight has to consume energy like a drone, yeah, forget about taxi. It will be like, yeah, 5 kilometers, that's how far we can go. So wings are efficient, that's the good part. Runways are not. What does that mean? Again, even in India, I recently started to experience this, is that I landed in Bangalore. Great, GG. I landed in Bangalore, that's it. That's like, I have to wait now. Why? All these hotspots in India, like major capitals or metropolitans, they have so much aviation going there. They have multiple runways and they have a big terminal building. So now you have to travel, like literally crawl from the end of the runway to that thing. And that could take half an hour to 1 hour to 2 hours in something, if it's occupied and all that. Like literally, I landed, everybody's phone started to come up because now you're in radio range. It's like, hey, yeah, you landed. Oh, when you're coming out? No, man, we are just still in the runway. 5 minutes later, we are still in the runway. Half an hour later, we are still on the runway. Like as in like, taxiway, so to say. So planes, wings efficient, runway not so efficient. Some people are working on putting electric motor into the wheels so they can actually solve this problem. It will require a few more years. Helicopters, great things. They give you VTOL, efficient, have been tested for 1 century. They have bad sound. They are not loud compared to these things. They are not loud. They are bad in sound because that big wing that is going, that rotor is going, wuk, 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 wuk. That's the problematic part. Even though, let's say it's only 130 decibel, it's 130 decibel in a way that you can't ignore it. It's like, pay attention to me. So that really makes it very annoying for people, where it's like ta, 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 ta. Now compared to drones, they will be loud. Again, you have smaller props which are going much higher RPM, like 20,000 RPM. It will be louder, like duh, it will be louder. However, the sound characteristics, instead of going tuk, 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 it's very which you can tune out. That's the theory. Some companies are working specifically on tip geometry to make sure even that sound is like almost like, you don't pay attention to it. Basically, psychologically, they are putting a noise gate in psychology. So that's why we don't, like, everybody talks about these things like helicopter never existed. It's like, yeah, helicopter exists, it's known, trustworthy, reliable, and we have enough hours on them to trust it. So this supposed to give that drone feeling without a helicopter penalty, so to say. And they are good enough at this point in time, meaning you can buy these things, sit in it and fly. That can be done. The best design I've seen is the Scott Manley one that he did, where it's like, it's a tail setter. Because again, moving the wings, while it sounds cool, it's wasteful aerodynamically. And again, you have mechanism that also wastes weight. But if you're tail setter, you sit like this and then you go straight, then it's like, ta-da. So it can be done. And we always had a dream of flying cars. So this is the closest analogy to it. Even big companies are pouring money into it. And there's not just one concept. So some have like a lot of big rotors, 5 big rotors, 6 big rotors. Some have like 8 big rotors, some have 20, a lot of concepts. So all mathematical designs can be tested in this. So people are putting money. Now, let me be clear. I will not put my money into taxi part, simply not because of engineering, but because of logistics of human licensing. Small planes are cheap rather, but we don't use it because of the licensing requirement of our pilot and all that stuff. Like, you can just have a small plane, you just like take the plane and go, but like you go through the paperwork, it's like, yeah, I understand why not every Tom, Dick and Harry does this. And again, you do not want your airspace to be crowded. So I'm not sold. Like, engineering, good. Economics and the viability of a air taxi system is like, maybe a corridor. I could see a corridor, like, oh, from here people collect here to this place. I can see that, but now that is iffy. However, logistics are becoming a very important deal. Why? Human life have legal nightmares due to safety system. Like, again, I'm not talking about engineering. I'm talking about the paperwork, the legality and all that stuff. And again, we are still struggling how the heck we're going to justify a self-driving car. So compared to a self-driving car, imagine this is exponentially more difficult. So it is a serious issue. However, cargo does not care. Even if it falls, even if it catches on fire, it does not care that much. You're like, okay, but cargo is expensive. What if it's a smartphone, next iPhone or something like that? It does not matter. Like, if you think things are expensive, once you have to go through litigation of a human life mishap, yeah, good luck. Companies have went bankrupt because of this. So all large corporation understands this, that freight, you can go YOLO on it. That's why we send people through planes and people, basically objects through ships that could take 30 or 40 days, or some designs, God help you, if like some bad things happen, 60 days. We still use ships. Why? It's like object does not care. People like get frustrated. Like, one of my friends lives in Australia. Is like, okay, Australia to India direct flight is 13 hours. I'm like, damn. Like, damn, it's difficult to travel that long. Like, again, many people go to Malaysia or Thailand, just so they can, stretch out their legs. It's like, bro, 6 hours, that's my maximum. In India, like, most of the flights are generally 2 hours, 30 minutes or less than that. So a 6-7 hour flight, damn. Or God help you, like, there is this new, sunrise flight time that they are trying is 22 hours continuous. I'm like, dude, unless you have a bed, no. So that's why, like, this is a physical reality. People are the problem. So what if you deal with logistics? And every logistics provider wants to deal with it. Be it your FedEx, DHL, or Amazon, whatever have you. Every Tom, Dick and Harry wants this. Why? It solves one of the frustrating problems. Large companies, they sorted out the large objects first. Basically, how the heck you move item from this warehouse to this ship to that country. That part is sorted. You will think that is messy part. No, that part is sorted. Like, we good. We got this. We have multiple redundancy, backups, tracking. We good. We got this. It's just like, okay, we got to the nearest warehouse. How about warehouse to you? Yeah, that's the problematic part. Because now you deal with traffic. Now you have to deal with person. It's like, eee. So at that point in time, they're like, hey, last mile delivery, what if we can do with drone? And not to mention, once you remove traffic, and again, it becomes a tangential line, you also get speed, even if you're not traveling very fast. Even if by law, let's say for safety reasons, it's like, okay, do not travel more than 60 km per hour, which is not that fast, but 60 km hour in a straight line will take you very far. So high speed is actual delivery from takeoff to landing point is very quick. So people are using it for urgent medication today. For example, this is in a very unique place known as Skyline. That's the drone system. So they have a blood bank in a central area. again, blood bank requires so much infrastructure, so much stuff, that it's not economical to have large enough blood bank in all places. So for that reason, they are like, okay, we're gonna put everything in centralized location. Okay, great, that solves the storage problem, but how the heck you gonna do the delivery? A person cannot be relied on. Like, a person needs blood in surgery, you need that ASAP. So they have this sort of drone infrastructure, and again, that's why they are wing based. Wings are faster also. So they put the blood in there, done, it reaches in few minutes. And again, each of the spots can easily cover hundreds of hospitals. Now, all of those hospitals have the access to like a good, reliable blood bank. And there are a lot of medications like venom medication, apparently, that are also very short expiry system. So this is becoming a very useful thing. It has been running, it is viable, people are using it. Now, that's a bit more what you call urgent kind of scenario. Ideally, you should not need that, but it is what it is. E-commerce, on the other hand, they are salivating. It's like, what if Amazon can remove the last mile person? Like, don't they have truck drivers and all that? Yeah, those are far more what you call regulated kind of system. And again, each person is dealing with much larger volume. So price, his what you call cost is not that brutal. But a package, a person physically dropping into your house is like, that's a brutal. Like, a truck can easily carry 50,000 parcel, but each parcel would require how much parcel a person can drop? 50, 60 maybe. So per parcel cost, the worst place is that last mile. So it's like, what if we have a drone in that last mile solution? Shut up, take money. All of them are pouring money into it. And again, I can easily understand that. Like, imagine if you're a pizza chain and you're like, hey, I want a pizza. It's like, okay, it's gonna come to your balcony ASAP. And it actually comes ASAP. People like it, assuming they can make sure the sound is not too bad. And again, all earlier days, everybody was trying those tilt rotor system. Now everybody is trying that tail sitter design. It's like, yeah, physics, as long as you can switch quick enough, tail sitter will always be more efficient. And again, efficiency means lower noise. So logistics people are like, they're salivating. They're like, bro, develop this, I will buy this. Now we come to another aspect, DARPA. Now, I have said it time and time again. If you study things like watch documentaries or like study their data system, America is supposed to be the dumbest country on the planet. On paper, it's like it does not have education. And God help you if you compare American education system to even Indian education system. It's like, bro, no, don't compare that. Like, you will understand why NASA has Chandra telescope, which is an Indian name. Why that person name was used on an X-ray telescope of that magnitude. Flagship project. You will learn that. Why Indians are so, like, you look into Asian education system versus American, is like, do Americans even know 2 + 2 is, 4? That's how gap is. And again, it was there from 1990s. So question is, how the heck America still has everything? Well, balls. I keep saying that. Like Jeff Bezos says, risk capital. Like, the amount of risk capital that American can just like, lol, that is unimaginable. Not that we do not have money. Heck, India have money. China has money. Europe has money. None of them have the balls to just like lol it. So that's the whole point. Meaning DARPA started this funding round, knowing full well it will fail. They knew from day one it will fail. But they're like, yeah, we can do it again and again. Now they are thinking, what if we do it yearly? So the challenge that I'm talking about was lift challenge. Now, the key part is not that you can lift something, that everybody can do that. It's like payload to weight ratio of 4:1. Now, if you know anything about drones or helicopters or anything, 1:1 is hard. Like, even for plane, 1:1 is hard. Like, if a plane is 600 ton, carrying 600 tons on it, it is difficult. It's not impossible, difficult. Helicopters, God help you. Like, even reaching 1-on-1, and that has like big military helicopters. Drones, agricultural drones, all of that, 1:1, good luck. But they're like, okay, we need 4:1, 4 the payload versus your. So it's like, yeah, that's brutal. And if you said that to most countries, especially in India, it's like, no, we'll not even try. It's like, no, that's not happening. Most places will act like that. Now, DARPA is like, bro, we're gonna put some money into it, put some honey into the pot. The honey pot is like, this first position winner was $1.2 million. Oh, by the way, second, third, fourth, they gave all of them. And they had one prize just for like, we think you have the potential, there's some money for it. And a lot of people came, like a lot of people. And here's the thing, before this event, everybody was like, oh, I have 4:1, people will laugh at you. Now it's like, I can see that. That happened, by the way. This is completely live in there, and it was not only for military system, it was open to public. And a lot of people came up with unique designs. Helicopter designs were good. One company actually cracked 6:1. But their structural strength was too compromised. They collapsed, the drone collapsed. But they reached it. Like they reached that 6:1, meaning if the next time they design it something a bit more reinforced, they can easily reach 4:1 and still win. Oh, by the way, the nearest party only won up to, if I'm not mistaken, 3.8. They did not crack 4. But again, DARPA is still paid willingly, happily. Everybody is happy. Like this is a battery-powered helicopter. Now, one helicopter's problem is that tail rotor. How the heck are you going to rotate it? Now, if you look into engine designs, they generally have a shaft that drives the tail rotor. It's like, okay, what if you throw away the shaft? Why? Shaft is heavy and expensive. What if you have an electric motor there? Okay. So, and again, that's why it has like hollow structures on a carbon fiber tube. They had to make structure very light. Now, like, okay, but it's not reliable. That was not the point. Point is to expand your mind. Once your mind can go there, it's like, okay, now they know this as a baseline. Now they can work on it. Heck, they do not even need to do 3:1. Even if they do 2:1 as like a final product, shut up, take money. And so many companies tried. So many new designs happened. It's like, damn. And the DARPA knows for a fact that the amount of money they spent, and again, the prize money is chump change. The fact that they had a runway booked, yeah, good luck with that. That's the expensive part. They did all of that. They know for a fact that out of hundreds of players that tried, 70 that actually did in the actual challenge, 10, 20 of them will try to do it again and seriously. There is a very good chance 1 or 2 of them will succeed. If they do, US will have something that other countries have to catch up to. That's why DARPA is there. Like DARPA is a saying, like, oh, you say, oh, we have a new rifle concept that goes further. It's like, yeah, go to army. Don't come to us. I have a flying tank concept. Come to us. Like DARPA does not even try to do things that are like, today. They're like day after tomorrow. So it is ballsy. Like it is ballsy from a government point of view. From every private player that supported it, it's like, yeah, let's just go. And all of those, like I think 3-day event is there. It's fully telecast. You can see it. 10-hour live streams is like whole day. It's amazing. And again, that's why I like America. Like everything sucks in America except the ball part. Ball part is like, we got balls. So this was my presentation on the drone infrastructure. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And if you have enjoyed it, click the hype button. Thank you.